Hello and welcome to Sustainability Matters 2021. It's great to have you with us. I'm Emma Hopkins, Sustainable Business Officer at Darebin Council, and I'll be leading you through today's event.
Welcome to Sustainability Matters. It's an annual event that it brings inspiring stories and experience of local and sustainable business leaders in our community.
Every minute around the world, over 1 million disposable cups are used and discarded. So that's over 500 billion cups every year. And disposable cups are actually really thin plastic cups that are given a paper coating in order to make them easy to brand and, I guess, more appealing to customers. But this means because they're made of a composite material, they can't be recycled. Even if plastic is fully recycled, it can only be recycled 4 or 5 times before it's degraded beyond the ability to be recycled. Being mindful of this idea that we can recycle our way out of it. This is an article that was in the Financial Times a couple of days ago. It surveyed over 20,000 people from 30 countries, and most people in the world believe that recycling is the best solution to reduce carbon footprint against things like buying renewable energy, swapping to an electric car, flying less. So we think that's the most effective when in fact it's the least effective thing we can do. And that's a lot to do with the way we're communicated to by big business. I read this book by Jared Diamond called Collapse, and it was why societies fail, like why civilizations have collapsed. And one that really struck me was Easter Island, Rarotonga, and it's covered in these giant stone statues, which you will have seen around the traps. And but what we probably don't realise is that the island used to be covered in about 16 million trees. And those trees were felled in order to drag these heavy sculptures, to quarry the stone, to carve the stone, to drag these sculptures around the island and put them up. And he said, Jared Diamond said that one of his students put their hand up and said, well, who cut down the last tree? And he thought about it for a while and he was like, well, it actually wouldn't have been a tree that the person cut down. So incrementally over a few generations, they would have cut and cut and cut. And so trees that were probably metres wide in girth would have given way to saplings. And so finally, when the person cut down the last tree, it wasn't a tree at all, it was a shrub. And so it made me really think about the incremental effects of change and also how we cling to these, if the islanders had to choose between, do you want your island to be habitable or do you want these giant stone sculptures, they would have picked habitable, I presume. And it's the same as us. Like, do you want convenience and do you want single-use items or do you want a habitable planet? That's the sort of discussion we're faced with, but we cling to these ideas of what's normal and that the status quo changes. It sort of changes slowly and then it changes really fast. Who are the gatekeepers and who are the people who are either going to enable or block what you want to do? A girl came up to me and she said, look, I'd really like to drink one of these cups because I think it's the right thing to do to get a keep cup, but I drink Campos coffee and they're way too cool for this kind of thing. And I was like, what? I'll tell you what's cool. Sustainability is cool, blah, blah, blah. And she walked away and the next week, Will Young from Campos Coffee in Sydney called up and he said, look, I've been looking for a product like this for years. Is it made in Australia? And we said, yes, it's made in Australia. And he said, okay, I'd like to buy 10,000 of them. In 2018, a parliamentary review suggested that because disposable cups weren't recyclable, if they couldn't be fully recycled and not just recyclable, but actually in a recycling stream in 4 years, that they should be banned. Look what happened to our sales. So you can see that was a real eye-opener for us that the directional changes set by government and policy and legislation can have a huge impact on the way we think and do business. When we got our stainless steel cups, the factory in China, which probably makes, 80% of all steel cups in the world, when they delivered the cups to us, they were all in an individual plastic bag. And we had to work for months and months and months to negotiate with them to put them in cardboard stripping and not put them in the plastic bags. And that didn't do anything for us other than reduce our footprint, but hopefully it paved a way for them to rethink about how they were delivering their product to all their other customers and save on that plastic bag. So it's about just identifying small things you can do and chipping them off to make change.
And I think that raises a really significant point. All businesses have a lot of impact on their customers and the products they make, but they have a lot of impact on their supply chain too. Mm-hmm. And when you push back to your supply chain, and we've heard this, and I've seen this, other businesses like Elk have worked with Australia Post to have packaging that's fully recyclable and change the way that postage is done. And you've got this great opportunity not just to be influencing out to customers, but influencing up as well, and really changing the way that their products and their services are delivered. You said 40% of your customers, when you surveyed them, are now refusing single cups. And I thought that was a fantastic figure. Yeah. And really interesting how your product, which was a sustainable solution to a problem you saw, is going on to really change people's thinking and the way that they engage with the world.
I think the lovely thing about Keep Cup is it's such a visible act. Like you know, it's not like a lunchbox tucked in your bag. You see people using it, so it has that, it's like a reusable bag. It makes people, I guess, copy that behaviour.
So the Wellington Cup Project is a community response to the ever-growing problem of reducing our coffee cup waste. In 2019, we tried to tackle the issue of removing our takeaway coffee cups and quickly realised that we'd lose a lot of customers if we just removed this service. We heard at the time that Monash University was running a pilot which looked at replacing coffee cups or single-use cups in their cafes in a closed network. And so we thought, okay, well, how can we do this? So we had a chat with them and they gave us some great tips. And so we started to figure out, A, how can we duplicate this system into an open network? And B, how can we get the council on board to implement this idea? So research was undertaken for most part of 2020. So the research we undertook was which cup would we use, which stores could we ask to participate, the name of the project, who would design it, how could we roll it out efficiently and safely in a post-COVID world. So we eventually got the green light from council early in January 2021 to launch the project. Since then, just speaking on just bake shop numbers. So the Northcote Bake Shop has diverted over 2,700 takeaway cups. That's just from January to March, and subsequently saving around $346 from not purchasing single-use cups. So at the moment, there are 8 stores participating in the project, and we've just got the go-ahead to go into a phase 2, which means another 8 cafes will come on board, and so in total we'll have 16 stores. We're going to be reaching out. So at the moment they're in Northcote, Fairfield, Thornbury, and Preston. We're looking into Reservoir and Bundoora as well, so that's super exciting for us. The project is called Wangam, which is our local Woiwurrung word for boomerang, and we are very grateful to the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung Cultural Heritage Aboriginal Corporation for granting us and blessing us to borrow the word Wangam. Last month, just in terms of one cafe, they were able to divert 33% of total coffee cups. And this is just some data of the stores and how much cups we've diverted together in February and March. If you are a store wanting to get some more information about how you can become a Wangam stockist, or if you are a customer wanting to support Wangam, those cafes stocking Wangam, you can go on our website, our Instagram page, or send us an email.
Ernie, one thing that you were talking to me about the other day when we were discussing Wangam was, I think a business owner said to you, wow, the collaboration we're doing with Wangam. imagine what else we could do. And I think this, like, what drove you to realise the best way to solve this problem of all these single-use cups going to landfill was to collaborate with other businesses and come up with this solution and to work with council?
Recently, the owner of Jerry Joy, he mentioned, oh, this is great. Like, we're working together on this Wellington Cup, and there's cafes very, very close to each other working together to bring down or to reduce our waste. It's almost like you're not alone in your initiative, because there's often a cafe down the road or in the next suburb who has similar issues but has the resources or the knowledge or is doing some sustainable initiatives. So I highly recommend you speak to, like, cafes to cafes. You speak to other cafes.
I'm Alex from Reducing Our Footprint. So we're a social enterprise, and we support individuals, businesses to embrace more sustainable practices. The change is happening, and we need to look at ways to channel it and to see it as an opportunity. I also encourage everybody, or our clients, not to see sustainability as something complicated and something hard. It really is an opportunity, and it's not just an opportunity from a planetary perspective, so from an environmental perspective, but using the triple bottom line, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's really an advantage both from a profit perspective, from a people's perspective, and a planetary perspective. From a people perspective, embracing sustainable practices can help you connect with your community, can help you connect with local businesses, also attract maybe younger talent. I know for some businesses, it's hard to find the right talent sometimes. There's a lot of competition out there for good people. I encourage you to think of this as a story, right? You can start to also tell a story. So from a marketing perspective, there are advantages, and it's a story that can also help you attract new clients to your products and services. Just to tie into the efficiency and sustainable health check. So this is a great initiative that the City of Darwin started. We can definitely help you achieve that green certificate if there's any areas that you find challenging and where you need a bit of support. And just to leave you with a quote, we don't need a handful of people doing sustainability perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. So don't feel like you have to do everything all at once. Start small. Start with incremental steps. They all make a huge impact. And then in no time, you will have embraced a sustainable journey.
It was about 4 years ago now when I, along with another parent at the school, approached some of the teachers about setting up an environmental working group. And that group comprises a number of parents, also some staff members, and some interested children. Over the years, we've achieved a whole range of things that, I suppose as a group we're really proud of. But I thought today I might focus in on a few of them that I think are relevant not just to schools, but really to any business or group in the community. One of the first things we did was look at our school gym. We have a really fantastic gym, and it looks great at first glance, but it is in essence a tin shed that heats up in the summer. What we did is have 2 special kind of giant fans installed, and also the reflective membrane that you saw. And what that does is reflect off the heat. We now have bins for paper, commingled recycling, soft plastics, and then also organics and general waste. A major part of our work with waste has also been with our suppliers. So one example of this is that when kids order sushi in lunch orders, they used to come in those sort of scrunchable plastic containers along with a little fish soy sauce. And we would routinely find these in the playground on lunch order days. We approached our supplier about this, and she was really fantastic. And the result of that was that we now get sushi in fully compostable plastic bags, and we have a bottle of soy sauce in each classroom. We've since installed an auto-off function for our air conditioners and for some of the lighting. All our lighting is now LED. We got support for that through one of the council programs. We also have a contract in place for an 80 kilowatt system that's going to go on the roof of our gym. This will entirely offset our energy with some to spare, and I think that's something that's really important for us as a school. I suppose each of these initiatives has led to a range of benefits. The obvious thing is that they've reduced the impact of our school on the climate and broader environment, which was really, our sort of primary motivation in the beginning. But they've also had an educational role, and that has been with sort of students and teachers and families, really the whole school community. We've learned about how you can have a problem in a school and then how these can be solved with I suppose, really exciting and sustainable solutions. The other sort of major benefit is that they have and they will continue to save us a lot of money. And obviously that can then be fed into other initiatives in the school.
I think there are so many lessons that can be replicated in what Fairfield Primary School's done across all businesses and organisations, influencing supply chains, working with your customers, and in this case, your kids, taking on projects that deliver great outcomes in terms of sustainability, efficiency, and saving money. So well done. We've heard about LED lights, and I can't emphasise this enough. If your lights aren't LED, please consider upgrading them. Our Light Smart program at Council can basically ensure that this upgrade happens for free for most businesses. Energy Compare is a website you can use to find the cheapest retailer. I encourage you to use this. You can also use a green power filter to source renewable energy or green power. Solar Vic for small business, there'll be subsidies or rebates of up to $3,500 for installing solar for businesses. You can register now. Small Business Energy Saver program, again, another state government program offering rebates and incentives for you to be able to upgrade equipment like fridges, freezers, hot water systems, and heating and cooling systems. We've got a plastic-free Darebin business guide that you'll be able to download, and we've got an organic waste recycling guide which lists some of the free and paid service options for recycling organic waste. We've also got our Darebin business recycling program that you can pick up for curbside commingled recycling. Business support and recovery is really key to this council and really key to the work that we're doing. I encourage you to go to our website, darebin.vic.gov.au/business support, to see some of the programs that are on offer that you can access. We've got a free ION group business mentoring sessions. They're available now, 1 hour sessions, and I encourage you to take them up. We've got our Love Your Local Business Map and the Sustainable Darebin Map. These maps are showing you where our local businesses are as part of our campaign to really encourage everyone, both customers and businesses, to support local businesses. Go to our Sustainable Business webpage, which is darebin.vic.gov.au/sustainable business. Sign up to our Darebin Business e-newsletter. Follow us on our business Facebook page. And as I mentioned earlier, join the Darebin Zero Business Waste Facebook group that Hirini has set up. This is a way for you to talk peer-to-peer and share your experiences. I'd like to thank our wonderful speakers again for their contributions and the efforts that they've gone to and for speaking to us today. But most importantly, I'd like to thank you all. You that have signed in and joined up for today, and all the sustainability efforts you're making in your lives and your businesses. We really appreciate it, and certainly in my role, I really love getting to work with you. Thank you.